Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Prestige family. She chose $30,000 marriage coaching, but her husband couldn't care less. Who am I talking about? Today I'm talking about, honestly, a particular client, but a few of my clients fall in the same category. So I might be mixing quite a few things together. I don't mention names because I protect my clients, but these are things that you guys should learn from. Today, I will also be maybe spending a little bit of time promoting the Prestige Academy, which is our relationship coaching academy, and I'll let you know right now. It depends. It depends on who you are and how much you value your relationship and your marriage. You might consider it cheap. You might consider it affordable. You might consider it expensive. I'll tell you right now, the wrong people will always consider it expensive, which is fine with me because I cannot care about their marriage more than them. I can only care about your marriage as far as our success stories, which we have a ton of success stories. But occasionally we have this kind of story, and I want to be fully transparent with you, that not everybody is able to pull through and do the needful. All right. So let me there's this guy. I'm gonna play some music here. By the way, the books are available for free. You can download them for free. Number one red flag and get my marriage back. They're free. All I ask you to do, especially this one, you need to read it 10 to 15 times. Some people cannot even invest time in their marriage. It's a big deal. Like 10 to 15 times. Why? What are you trying to do? But they can't follow simple instructions. So, does that guarantee failure? No, it just increases the chances that the odds are against you. If you cannot invest time, money, energy in your relationship, the odds are against you. So instead, some people actually prefer, instead of our $2,000, our price right now is $2,000 for 1 year coaching, and it's $2,000 or $1,000 or and $100 every month. That's the way we've done it for a while. We didn't always start that way, but we the price will increase. I'm just letting you know right now, the price will increase, but that's what it is right now at this point in time. It's $2,000 for 1 year, and it's $1,000. And why 1 year? Because again, I'll tell you why 1 year in a second. Again, this person will rather choose $30,000 marriage coaching. What do I mean by $30,000 marriage coaching? What do I mean by $30,000 marriage coaching? That's actually the cheapest among those type of marriage coaching. Some people will rather learn from experience. Some people will rather fail. Okay, some people will rather have some negative experience before they learn. That's the prerequisite for them to engage a much more affordable and much more sure results coaching. Okay, but it's all coaching nonetheless. Experience is the best teacher. All right. But welcome back. Welcome back. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. We have an interesting session here today. Help me hit like, share, subscribe, turn up your notification. You see, I'm going to use this is an interesting session here today. You're going to get free coaching as usual. On YouTube right here, you get free coaching from me. The books are free coaching. The books, you read it 10 to 15 times. It's impossible. It's literally with my full chest. It's impossible that your experience in marriage will not change. Your experience with love and relationships will not change. It's impossible. But again, some people would rather take the high road or the low road, or they go to hell before they do the needful for their own life. Again, I cannot care about your relationship and your marriage more than you. I have a story I'm going to share with you today. It's a story of I think about two of my present active clients right now going through it right now. But this person is not really an active client right now. But again, everything I share here today is for us to pick out lessons. Okay, I'm not mentioning names for specific reasons because I want you to pay attention to the lessons. And also, the actual husband, actually, I think he watches. All right, so a lot of time when people are insecure in their situation, they are snooping around. They will not do the needful, but they are snooping around looking for, Nonetheless, we're going to share some lessons today, some very, very interesting thing. But With that being said, check this one out though. You see, this is a $30,000 coaching here. Okay, this is what I mean. Listen to this. You know Ishagun Johnson, right? Ishagun Johnson, I plays music here sometimes. Is the hype man. Everybody wants him at the wedding. He's the biggest guy right now. Looks like it to me. He was the hype singer guy that took the Owambe stage for Iyabo Ojo. Listen to this. Watch this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Iyabo, Otimbo, Iyabo, Otimbo, Sunny Presido, Iyabo Ojo.
All right, so that's Ishagun Johnson right there. You can see Iyabo Ojo dancing at her daughter's wedding. Here's another one. Probably another wedding. This is Kiki, right? The skip maker. Another one. This is what I'm calling the $30,000 marriage coaching. All right, people, it's still coaching. It's still coaching because it's most of these are weddings, and this is where people would rather spend their money. Forget that we're talking about the actual people getting married. Okay, shout out to them. You should celebrate a wedding. Forget that. I'm talking about even the people, the guests that will come there. They would rather spend money here than spend money on their personal relationships. All right, so this is why I don't see my when it comes to my level of sympathy for people going through certain things, it's controlled. Okay, the best thing I can do is bring my expertise, my knowledge, my wisdom, my experience especially, and tell you, hey, move this direction, don't go that direction. That direction that you're going all the time, the one that comes from your need to be right, your coconut head, the place of pride and unrealistic expectation, is probably a wrong move. Go this other direction. This is where your power is. That's why, you see, because I'm confident in that, I will continue to do that. And in terms of sympathy, I can offer a little sympathy, but that's about it, because I have my own life and I must protect my own energy as well. All right, so, and another one, E-Money, right, at that wedding. I can't even hate on this, I'm sorry. If it costs you $30,000 to learn the lessons, it is what it is. Hey, money now water. Oh boy, it's sweet, but it's sweet. I can understand why people would rather spend $30,000 on this than their own personal relationships, marriage. I can understand. I can understand why people would choose the hell road. Coconut head will not do the work that they need to do. It's sweet. It's sweet. It's sweet. It's sweet. Oh, look at this. Yay. They imagine Diamond Platinum, right? He was dropping bills of dollars, $100. So look at Iyabo.
Only godmother. We mother,
godmother.
We mother, godmother.
Hey.
Mama,
all right. So again, I can understand. All right. So why am I talking about this today? It be like say I should continue to be playing that music, right? Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. But the reason why I'm talking about this today again is why people will rather, an average person will rather choose the $30,000 marriage coaching route, but our husband couldn't care less. Why is it that your husband don't care? You can replace that with a wife if we're talking to a man. If you're a man, you can replace that. Why is it that it seems like your partner, your spouse don't care? Right? They don't care. I'll tell you a quick story. All right. So one of our clients signed up, and I don't know exactly, somewhere between 3 to 5 months. They canceled the journey. I'll tell you right now in the public, when somebody cancel, I don't stop them from canceling. I don't. As a matter of fact, there's a chance I don't see the cancellation email if you sent an email. Just execute it and we wish you best of luck. Just because you canceled, it's a 12-month program. The Prestige Academy is a 12-month program. Why 12 months? Why not one session? Because there are bad habits. The bad habits could be, at least there are certain things you do that allow the other person, yes, you allow or you enable the other person to take you for granted. There are certain behaviors that you have. All of this is all behavioral stuff, right? There's certain behavioral patterns that continue to enable your partner to take you for granted. It could be as simple as being present, being readily available. Anything that's readily available will be taken for granted. And one session is not going to do it. All you need is to listen to me on YouTube and read a book before you know what the concept, the strategies are from a theoretical standpoint. In terms of in practice, it's a different ballgame entirely. All right. As you know, here on Man of Prestige, I also catch crews for the most part, right? We extract life and relationship lessons from trendy topics, but we approach them from self first, meaning I help you identify your powers. I'll listen for a few hours, depending on how much you pay me, for all the resentment, all the pain that you're going through. I will listen. More importantly, so I can hear where you're coming from. I'm actively listening authentically so I can hear where you're coming from, because if I don't know where you're coming from, I might not be able to help. But the goal is still self-empowerment, self-power, understanding that there's power dynamics involved. Even though that may not be explicitly written out, there are power shifts back and forth. It could be emotional in nature. It could be you feeling less empowered in nature. It could be the other person feeling a sense of cheating, betrayal in nature. But there's power dynamics playing a role here. There's also social. All of us are subjected to social dynamics. A lot of your behaviors are controlled or influenced and controlled by our environment. So we're thinking things like cultural dynamics. Some of you will just overreact to cultural dynamics, tradition. You're just angry at tradition, but you don't get closer to your power with anger. You move further and further away from your power when you overreact emotionally, because you're caught up in an emotion, and the worst of them, of course, for that matter, anger, right? So social dynamics is a part of that, and seduction, because again, once you understand the kind of power you have, you know how to navigate and use it to win holistically. We're not talking about you just winning against a partner, because that may not even be what you want. You might just want to win with your partner, as opposed to what most people do. Most people want to win against their partner. Just listen to the conversations you're having with them. It's mostly about you winning and having the upper hand, as opposed to holistic winning, as in like you get what you want. It might be with or without them. We don't know what that looks like yet until we assess your situation. And of course, everything is attraction. You attract who you are. You attract who you are. You attract the type of energy you put out there. Okay, there's a polarity that's at play here. Opposite attracts. Yes, you attract who you are, but opposite attracts. There's a nuance there that you need to understand with respect to your specific story. So how are we gonna figure all that out in one session? I can consult with you in one session. I can tell you you need to sign up, or I can tell you need to go talk to a clinical therapist. Depends on the situation, right? We do have a refundable $97 consultation for a one time now. It gives you access to the 21-day boot camp The 21 day boot camp is everything. Some people come inside of it just to argue with their destiny. It's not a matter of right or wrong. It's about gaining a certain level of insight so that you can go create the rule that works in your own life. Remember that everybody's story is different. There are principles that work across the board, but it still needs to be applied to your specific situation. Right? So attraction and of course emotional intelligence. All of this, you can put them all under emotional intelligence. Okay, so emotional intelligence means you understand your own emotion first. It means you're also paying attention to the other person's emotions. Who's the other person? It could be anybody. It could be your husband, your wife, it could be your children, it could be anybody you have to interact with that will involve some level of emotions. That's every interaction, even if it's business. Okay, that's every interaction. So the second level to that is obviously being able to read other people's emotions. You cannot read other people's emotions if you don't understand yours. And most people are more concerned about the other person. All right, most people are more concerned about the other person. So those are the angles we tend to attack these things from. Even the parties that I just played for you, they work because they touch our emotions. If I play this music for you, I'm already getting emotional. It does something to me. It makes me want to stick to the music. But because of discipline, because I do have a message to deliver to you here, I stopped it, right? So I share all the theoretical stuff here. Sometimes you can relate, sometimes you disagree. All of that is pretty normal, right? But how does that translate to your personal relationship? Are you getting the results you're looking for? If you're not getting the result you're looking for, chances are you have too many things that you know. No, there's lower chance that you don't know anything. Okay, there's a higher chance that you're a smart, intelligent person, but you know too much, and it needs to be packaged into a way that will work for your particular situation and relationship. Okay, everybody cares about something. Okay, at the surface level is different stories, different muddy stories all over the place, but when you really start to dig in through the core of it, the core of it is people are looking for security or certainty. People are looking for sometimes it looks like you're looking for loyalty. You want to be sure what you're dealing with. You don't want the surprises. Sometimes you're looking for variety. You're looking for somebody to ginger your life. Everything is too boring, it's too serious, everything is just too serious, right? And then sometimes you're looking for significance, importance. Why would people spend $30,000? Let me play this video for you. Okay, not $30,000. Why would they? What are they spending $30,000? Listen to this video. Check this out.
Long, I swear. But I'm going to.
You said the governor was coming.
I'm going to leak a secret here. I won't mention the person's name.
Yeah.
One of our biggest Owambe musicians.
Yeah.
Uncle Teju. Daddy, your man found one client in one budget alone.
All right, so listen to this. He said one of the lowest. He said he gives one of the musicians like him that go to all these big parties. That man will give people budgets, right? Some people are already guessing that they're talking about K1 the Ultimate Wasiu Ayinde here, right? He gives them budget. Listen to him carefully.
I swear.
A budget how?
Yes, Timbambom party and Wulombo.
Who are the guests that you are inviting to your party? He wants to know who are the guests you're inviting to your party. This is the kind of energy that people put towards wedding. I know you have been married for 6, 7, 8 years, so it's almost like I'm not talking about. No, I'm talking to you. Okay, because sometimes you're a wedding guest and you would rather go to the bank. Okay, you know what you're doing. You go to the bank, you go get singles. I'm talking about those in the America now. You go get singles on $1, right? Well, how much singles do you get? Is it $20? No, I know you. No, you get a minimum of 100. That's the cheapest of them all. 100, 200. 300, 500. Why? Because of significance. You want to look important at that party too. So we're not even no longer talking about your own wedding now. We're just talking about what your preferences are, or the things you rather invest in. Significance, short-term significance. But it is what it is. But again, I'm sharing the theoretical stuff with you right now. Listen to what he's saying. He said they will ask, who are the guests coming to this wedding? Can you guarantee that I will make 50 million naira?
God up by 50 million. This is not Fabu.
Ooh.
Yes, 100%. So there was an event.
Shout out to Teju Babyface. I'm getting this. I'm reacting to this from his channel within fair use guidelines on this Instagram page. Teju Babyface.
I was there. The client was
If
there.
I'm coming to your party, let me see the list, the guest list.
Yes,
so that I'll know
confirm.
whether or not they have the financial firepower
To meet up to these amounts.
Yeah.
50 million.
Yes.
Please continue.
That particular event was 30 million.
Yeah.
The person said, any year, ó mà ti fún mi budget but kò tiẹ̀ ní ìdíkò worry àwọn báyìí ń bọ̀ ó ṣàmọ̀ wọn náà mọ̀ pé máa fún wọn budget now. It was the first time it was the first time of me hearing something like that. Although ẹni yẹn tó bẹ̀, that particular musician of course àgbà ni wọ́n.
You reach the pass.
So ó lágbára yẹn ó tó bẹ̀, but I was shocked pé so ẹni yìí tún máa ń fún àwọn clients wọn ní targets. So he has gotten to a level where he doesn't really charge again. If you have a party and you call him, he will just wait the party. Teju Babyface show. Who does he know? Tadio Gidon, Shegun Johnson, Donald Trump. Donald Trump will not spend me money. So it will weigh you by the number of friends and the caucus that you belong to.
Wow.
So that will determine the weights.
So let me break what you're saying down in practical terms. So if I want to call a particular musician, who is very famous, very accomplished, very everything, and I have a lot of money. Say I have 50 million to give him. He might take somebody else's party who is 20 million. If the guest list of that person is better than mine,
he will take someone else's party for free. If the guest
forget 20 million.
Oh, sure for me.
Forget 20 million. If that guest list is more illustrious than mine,
yes.
It doesn't matter if I'm offering 50 million. If the other person is offering nothing, they will take nothing based on their more illustrious.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I remember him talking to some people in the US. I remember back then they said that they wanted to bring him for a show, and he said, America, should be $1 no kiri.
See.
And then I just remember that
American people don't cast. It's all $1, but that $1 adds up though.
It's true. This person makes money in bail.
In bail.
When they want to spray money here, it is bail by bail. A bail of 1,000 is 10,000 naira. So that means when people are spraying $1 in the US, they spray him 10,000 naira. So he was so confident of himself. He said, "Me wajare my wale komi."
You must tell me.
This person said they will not come to America, they will just stay in Lagos. But the gist there is deeper than that. The gist is where money, the ecosystem of this whole thing called marriage goes, right? That's what I want you to understand about this. But it's interesting. What he's saying is interesting, right? But there's a lot of money. So that's why I get the 50 million naira for $30,000. Well, who is spending $30,000 on wedding? That's the least. That's a cheap wedding. So that's even a conservative number. If I'm going to use that as a quote unquote marriage coaching that people would rather go through, they would rather spend that money. And rightfully so. I'm just telling you, I'm just saying that to you so you can gauge yourself. Where are my priorities when it comes to this thing called life? That's really what I want. But again, it's pretty normal because you can see what I have on the screen right now. Again, people will spend money on significance. If it means more significant, if they make them more significant in the short term, they are more attracted if it's a short-term significance rather than long-term. Because if you have, there's a certain level of significance you get if you can stay married for long-term successfully. It does come with significance too, but that's long-term. That's not sexy, right? In fact, that's not sexy. So most people, once you tell them a certain amount, it's too expensive already for them, of course. So, and we know what's happening with marriages and the divorce rate now. Forget divorce rate. Even ordinarily to stay in a simple relationship, people are struggling with that these days because of these issues. Okay, connection, growth, and contribution. But let me finish listening to him though.
Who this person is? Maybe not on camera.
Off camera, I'll tell you.
Come forward. This camera should be come forward. This he won't get it. Let's
say, "Oh man, no me." This guy say, "Oh man, no me."
What we can say is honestly.
It wasn't even who I was thinking.
No.
I was thinking someone else.
But I'm going to.
So he was probably thinking King Sunny Ade. So King Sunny Ade doesn't look like somebody that we have to do that, you know. But somebody said nobody but K1 the Ultimate. It sounded like it to me. Somebody said, to be honest, is Ishagu a musician or hype man? Never heard him sing before, apart from Shumanawo Ito, Shofai Gon, all hype mannerism. It works for him. He carved a nice niche for himself. If you rather spend that money over there, I'd rather they take the money from you. You will spend it anyway. So, shout out to him. Not hating on him. Anyway, back to what we're saying here. The story, the overall story, sadly, the guy of the story that I was sharing with you, he moved out. He's moving out of his house. He's moving out. He's leaving his wife and moving out of the house. And it's sad because, again, there is no guarantee. Let me tell you something. If you sign up for my program, there's no guarantee. I'm being honest with you, okay? There's no guarantee. The closest thing to the guarantee is how much work you're going to put in. See, for me and my wife, this is business for us, okay? We're very passionate about it. We're able to do the business consistently since 2018 because we are passionate about it. This is also a life mission and purpose for us. And we benefit more than money from helping people. For all those success stories you're looking at, we benefit more from them than just the money. It's just that for us to be able to do it sustainably, we have to charge a certain amount of money. So this is more about you. So the chances, the closer the more work you put in, the closer you are to guarantee. So that's it right there. And when I say work, most of it is mental. It's mental, and it's mentally with regards to consistency, right? Being consistent in doing your own part in the work. So there's a renewing of the mind that needs to happen. You know, you attract who you are. When I say it's not about the persons. I'm not saying you're as evil as you think your partner is. No, I'm talking about the status of your relationship. Is still a function of who you are. It's an overall experience of everything that led you to where you are. There's something that you don't know, right? And I'm not special. My wife is not special. It's because we've gone through this before, and because we're consistently dealing with this kind of case, we see patterns, and those patterns are consistent. So the guy has now moved out, but you know, she checked out of the program about the client I was talking about earlier on. She checked out of the program about, I don't know exactly, about 3 to 5 months into the program. She checked out, but before she checked out, we usually have like a way that we have that we invite your partner into the program, and she executed that to an extent. She got the guy to actually be a part of one session. From the guy's demeanor, from his mannerism, overall mannerism, there's a certain level of pride or ego, if you will, that was playing a part in the whole thing. Now, I can relate because I have pride myself, okay? I can relate, all right? Because I have pride myself, all right? So I can definitely relate to a man, like, you know, either in the form of coconut head, as like, why, like I'm not feeling you, and you're telling me to go to, you're not listening to me, and you're telling me to go to some kind of counseling. I don't want to go. Maybe I'm also full of myself. I can relate. I've been there. As in, like, I've been the culprit, the perpetrator, and the victim at the same time. So I know. Okay, I know. But the reason she gave why she exited, she said she didn't think it's fair working on a marriage or lifting the burden. The exact language is, working on a marriage should not be a burden of one person. You see how that makes common sense to you, right? That makes common sense to you, right? What do I always say here? Common sense is a terrible guide to life and relationship. I've told you that before. I say that all the time. I shoot common sense in the stomach all the time, because honestly, I'm being honest with you, as a human being myself, I have to control myself and say, calm down. Not everybody knows what you know, or not everybody is the, quote unquote expert. I don't like calling myself expert. It's just that once you do this stuff over and over with different people, you know what you know. Right? But then we've written 2 books on these issues, and we have thousands upon thousands of videos. So, and we continue to adjust. We're not perfect. We just adjust as we go, because the whole thing called marriage, life, and relationships is a moving target. So you have to also continue to adjust. Anyway, the gentleman brought a certain level of ego in his mannerism to the table. And if you look at the screen right now, number four here, one of the levers is ego and pride. So now this is our responsibility, her and my responsibility as the coach, to manage that. If somebody don't know what they're going to, and they bring a certain level of energy, it's usually because their guards are up, and it's part of our responsibility, partly, to bring their guards down. That means we have to make them feel safe. We have to make them feel safe to be able to, but it's not going to be a one session thing. It's something that takes time, and sometimes you're sowing seeds that will not necessarily come to fruition until later, right? So you cannot be in a rush. We can't be in a rush. We have to be super patient with this type of process. And that's exactly what I practice, because I do it all the time, so I'm used to it. But he brought a certain level of egotistical mannerism into the whole thing. And and I said, okay, this is what we're dealing with. Okay, this is what's okay. Try to make him feel comfortable. He said he shared some things. He had been engaging with another lady. We're not sure if it's in a romantic way or sexually or anything like that. We're not sure. And my client herself is not sure either. But it's inappropriate. As a matter of fact, she told me that she went into the phone, and 97% of the pictures on his phone are pictures, according to her. 97% is, obviously that's a generalized, but she's saying a whole lot of pictures, and she's estimating 97% of the pictures on his phone are pictures of the strange lady and her children. And in fact, the strange lady's husband is not in America where we are. The strange lady's husband is somewhere else entirely. So she suspects that they are having an affair or something, So you be the judge. Is she having an affair, or is he having an affair with that lady or not? And they work together, and they've opened businesses together. So you be the judge. Again, the people I'm talking about, if they're listening to this, they will probably know I'm talking about them. No mentioning of names. All right. So so there's also the case of potentially there might be infidelity going on there. But beyond that, they have financial issues and stuff like that. She wants to buy a house. The guy's finances are not in order, because I can relate, probably partly because he's an entrepreneur, so it can get a little bit messy if you're still trying to figure yourself out as an entrepreneur. But he was supposed to drop a certain amount of money for down payment, and she was feeling confident that it's not an issue. He would drop money, and I'm not going to say this detail right here, but anyway, bottom line is that he came short. He wasn't able to drop his own side of the money. And of course, all of this is happening because I did what I called a check-in consultation. I do that with all my past clients. She said to take me up on the offer, and she took me up on the offer, and she came to the check-in, and she was telling me this, and basically he was short on his own end of the bargain in terms of who's going to put down payment to purchase property. But the last that we heard of that now is that he's moved his stuff out of the house. So it's pretty sad, and that's just a momentary event. First of all, let me just say this, just in case she's listening. If somebody moves out of the house, for the most part, it's good riddance to bad rubbish. You don't necessarily feel that way for obvious reasons, because rejection breeds obsession. So now you're caught up in the moment where you have to really, really work on your self-esteem. Remember that a person that has been taking you for granted, they're not going to change that behavior unless there is some type of perceived pleasure in stopping the behavior of taking you for granted. Right? Unless there's some type of painful experience in continuing to take you for granted. In other words, human beings, they don't change their behavior unless there's pain or pleasure or relief involved. All right. So now, how are you going to make that happen? Well, it depends. It depends on your story. It depends on what else is going on in that relationship. But part of the things that she told me is that before he moved that, he was starting to say he felt like a stranger in his own home. Okay. So it looks like there's awkward silence. There's not engagement. They don't have the friendship part of the bargain, because if you're married to a person, you don't have friendship, a decent level of friendship, preferably a best friendship type of relationship. If you don't have that, it's going to show. Okay, you might think it's number two, sex. No, sex is a function of the best friendship. Okay, you can still have sex because there's Konji. Konji is a bastard, but you will basically resent those type of sex. After you're done with it, you will end up resenting it. Just gets worse and worse and worse. Okay, so is it because she stopped the program in the middle? No, not necessarily. Did stopping the program in the middle increase the chances of a bad marriage completely ending? Yes. Okay. Now, is he a bad guy? We can't say that. We can't. It's not about being bad or good persons. It's not. And that's some of the mistakes that people make. All right. Somebody reached out. Somebody reached out and they said they have I'm hearing that for the first time. It said they have a 2-year countdown to the end of a marriage. I was like, wow, interesting. A 2-year countdown. That's a whole 2 years of my life. I am not spending 1 second in a marriage that is not working. I'm not spending, again, from a physical standpoint, financial entanglement and all those kind of things, we might still be in the institution, but I would say declare it over. A 2-year countdown to do what? To be testing people or to do exactly? I'm not sure. Again, people come up with all kind of different terminologies to justify whatever their motives are. I do the same thing with the program. Okay. So anyway, what's the program? It's called Prestige Academy. It's $2,000 for 1 year or $1,000 down payment, and you pay $100 every month for 1 year. And some people, especially those that take the $100 payment plan, they will stop in the middle. Some do that. Some actually will learn what they need to learn, and this is something that fired off in them, and they know what the answers are, and they made it work. So it's not the end-all be-all formula or anything like that. But if you don't finish the program, obviously it increases the chances that people will go back to their equilibrium. I'm using physics language. They go back to their center. They go back to the behavior they are familiar with. And sometimes it's not their personal behavior, it's their reaction to the triggers that that they were more familiar with before. But unfortunately, it might look the same right now, but you don't know how much damage has been done before that point. So it increases the chances that it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. Okay, so again, how much is it worth? What is it worth to invest in your relationship? I'm not talking necessarily money, because like I said, a lot of you, all you have to do is read this book 10 to 15 times. That is literally free to do. Okay, but that's going to cost you time to sit there and do it, right? What is your time worth? How much do you get paid at work per hour? So do the math. So it's costing you that much money, because you could be using that time to play, or you could go to Owambe party, or you could go and collect $500 singles and go to Owambe party and spray it there. Everybody's priority is different, right? But I'm saying that so you can self-reflect. What are your priorities, right? Look at the result you're generating. Do you like it? What are your priorities? Never mind what you admit your priorities are. Where you spend your time, your money, your energy dictates what your priorities are, right? So look at what you've spent the last $5,000 that you own in this life, go look at it, go do the math. Where did you spend it, right? And then that will tell you where your priorities are. It will tell you, all right? Because you put your money where your mouth is. It's not something you decide to do. It's something that happens naturally unless you are intentional. Okay, now for us, my wife and I, we've decided to give a lot of stuff away for free. The concept, our testimony, the concept, the principles, the theoretical part of what we do, we give them away for free. But in terms of application, it's another ball game entirely, right? Because it's not just the application too, it's about the bad behavioral patterns that led to where you are, that either you like or you don't like. They are being what created what you have today. I hope that's making sense. I hope it makes sense. You know, it's not about you agree or you disagree with anything. That has never been the angle we come from. We expect that you will disagree with certain things. Because again, we have 3 systems in the program. We have the GPS system, we have the lies to light system, we have the assurance system. The GPS system is essentially God, gratitude, purpose, self, right? This is just the focus. This is always the focus. The focus is never your partner. This is why when she said, carrying, when she said working on a marriage should not be the burden of one person, it's like, that's because we didn't spend enough time on the first system, the GPS system, because the self part of it would have told you that you're not working on the marriage. The marriage is not a person. You're working on yourself and your ability to influence the results you're getting in life. That's what you're working on. That's it. That's it. The marriage you end up in, the relationships you end up in, is a function of your self-esteem, the quality of self, the quality of self-development that you apply to yourself. See, that's core, that's foundational. That's the first system before we get into the lies to light system, which is all the lies we've been told, all the lies we've been told in how we're socialized, right? All the lies we've created, the false belief systems that obviously has led you down to where you are right now, either good or bad, right? We need to work on that. And then the last but not least, the last but surely definitely not the least, the reason why it's 12 months is the assurance system, right? For a while, for a decent amount of time, for a period, you cannot act from common sense, especially reaction to triggers. You can't do that. I'll give you an example, right? Once the husband say, I feel like I'm a stranger in the house, our response was, there's nothing to say, nee. Just think about that. Is that a seductive thing to say? Well, I'm pissed off. I'm not in a place to speak anything seductive. That's the issue, because we need to go back to self now, right? The other person is still controlling you. You might not realize it. It might not be obvious. Common sense may not say that. But the other person is controlling you because there are other things going on. The finances, the infidelity that you're not sure of because you're just not sure. It's even worse when you're not sure. Because some people actually, they know that their spouse is cheating and they've settled into it. It's terrible, I know. But they actually know. When you don't know, it's actually worse. Because it's like something masturbating your mind from time to time. You won't have peace of mind. You won't have rest. It takes a tremendous amount of emotional energy to come into a place of peace when you're always wondering if your partner is cheating with the person they are working with all the time, and then you go in their phone and then you see 97% of the pictures are pictures of this other person. Imagine. They can't have peace of mind. It's highly unlikely, right? So, and she said, she responded and said, well, there's nothing to talk about when, right? So, of course, we have our favorite lines. What do you mean? If somebody comes to you and what do you mean? Ask more questions, open-ended questions. Well, it's easier said than done. Exactly. That's why you need the assurance system, because if something is triggering you, you know it will give you access, 24/7, literally access, so you can ask questions before you act or react. And then before you know it, for a period of time, there are patterns to what work for us. You know how they say what work for you don't work for other people is a lie. It says some things that work for everybody. Okay. And some things, you're right, when it comes to application won't work. That's why we help you, because we look at your story and we say, hey, with this one, I know I said this yesterday, do it this other way, because there are some nuances to it. It's more of an art than it's an exact science. That's why you need the assurance system, right? So it's not a one-time thing where I just preach at you or spit at you or tell you all kind of generalized nonsense, right? That they all repeat to themselves on social media anyway. It's not that. It's application of steroid, right? And it's time away from engaging the devil. The devil is not your partner. The devil is always at play in all those triggers and all those reactions that you're doing between you and your partner, right? So it's time away from engaging, because again, it might seem like things are quiet, but if you don't engage the right systems, the idle mind is the devil's playground. I hope that makes sense. I really do hope that makes sense. If it don't make sense, you can ask questions in the comment section though. So there's a special coaching session. I decided to just use this. Okay, so I'm giving you literally $30,000+ worth of coaching right now. Some of you will hear yourself inside of these stories I'm talking about. So the assurance system is designed for that. It's supposed to not just theoretical apply, but sustainable. It's you create a new sustainable situation for you, which obviously by extension translates into your relationships into the future, either the present one with or without the present relationship. It's not about your marriage, it's about you, right? And you can't afford to overreact. You can't afford to be caught up in your emotions too much. We're all emotional beings. So that's the whole point of emotional intelligence. You have to kind of like put support systems in place to help you navigate a trying time. It's very difficult. It's easy to point out the simple things like silent treatment, like emotional abuse, like all those things are essentially the names given to symptoms. There are deeper issues going on behind the scenes, and it plays out in your everyday, and you need support system to get through that. If you are noticing that your relationship, your marriage is not what you bargained for, it's not ideal for you, it's not what you want. Okay. I hope that makes sense. So what did she do? She ended up having to close on the property that she wanted by herself, because the guy was supposed to come up with a certain amount of money and he wasn't able to come up with it. And then he ended up closing on the house by herself. And if she was in the program at the point, and we make it explicit enough, long enough, depends on what we're talking about, because oftentimes people come to the table and they have an array of different things, resentments that they want to talk about, right? People are ready. They already made up their mind oftentimes. So I'm the one that have to say, hey, slow down. Let me give you something to work with, right? But if you're not in the program, you're not in the program. There's only so much I can help, right? And again, like I said, it's not a guarantee, but there's an increased chance of everything falling apart if you don't have support, if you don't have a system, if you don't, because we're human beings and we're systems, and we're systems ourselves. So you cannot be operating from winging things, right? Just using common sense. The emotional part of us is a very tricky thing. If you experience rejection hurts. Rejection hurts. I still hate rejection. I think I will always hate rejection. Right? But I have support systems. Starting with my wife. If I experience any form of rejection, the first gist partner for me is my wife. just the fact that I can laugh about it with her, it's a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal. The fact that I can laugh about it with her is a big deal. All right. These are the theoretical stuff. Why is it that she shouldn't have said it's because there's nothing to say? You know, there are poisons. These are the poisons here: shaming, insult, blame, fault, judgment, condemnation, guilt, discrete logic, yes or no, discrete logic, sarcasm, condescension, right, wrong, obsessed, black, white, obsessed. These are the poisons. How do this play out in your relationship? In very subtle ways. Are this all crime? No, they're not crime, but they're poisons. Depends on how much of it you have, right? Small poisons will kill. We know that, right? We mess the whole food up, right? This is the GPS system. This is the 3PS. The prayer, patience, and process. Prayer is 1/3 of that for a reason. Okay? It works hand in hand with patience. These are the anti-seducers. Brute, no patience. Suffocator, neediness. Needy behavior. It's not you that's deciding these things. It's the other person, their experience. What are they experiencing when it comes to you? It's not about your intentions. Right? Most of us have good intentions. We're good people. Most of us are not going to buy our partner and poison their food because they make more money than us and transfer all their properties to our name. Most of us are not going to do that. You're much more engaged in the wrong topics. I understand it. That's why we catch a little cruise here, right? And we cover all the trendy story. But I'm letting you know that when it comes to yourself, how much time, small little poisons, how much time, money, energy, resource are you investing in those things? You know, life happens. Life is just happening. And life is happening to you. Many of you, instead of making things happen, life will happen to you. Or you will wake up 3 years from now and say, what happened? And then you'll be the victim. Life happened. What happened? Victim. Making things happen. Empowered. All right, you do the number 5, bumbler, the weird, self-conscious. I just want to do the right thing. That's not also helpful. That may be a good reason why they're taking you for granted, because you're a people pleaser. You don't know where to draw the line where you give, because Allah said give, and focus on giving. So now you don't know where to draw the line between that and being a people pleaser. No, never mind that. I've shown you where to draw the line. Just give to yourself if you feel like the other person is not giving you. But that's theory. What about practicing in real life? Do you have the systems? Do you have the support system to help you navigate when the real triggers are actually happening in real life? When you're at work and you see that weird text message, or you have the urge to go inside of a phone and then you start digging through the phone, and then your whole life right now feels like it's about to collapse because you saw something you're not supposed to see. Oh. It's deep, right? Windbag, talkative. Yeah, I'm just a communicator. I like to talk about it. I am just a communicator. I like to talk everything out. I don't go to bed unless we address the issue. Right? How's that working out for you? If it's working, keep doing it. If it's not working, you might have to pay attention to something that you can't see. It's in a blind spot. Yeah. The triggered one. They trigger me. I'm always triggered. You're always triggered. You're the only one that smells trigger. You're a trigger detective. Thank you, babe. My wife just brought me coffee. I don't want to promote the brand. It's Dunkin' Donuts, nothing special. We love Dunkin' Donuts. It's latte. You see how my eyes is closing? I'll wake up in a second. But yes. Talkative, reactor, triggered. You're because you read that book about triggers, so every angle you turn, you're getting triggered and you don't know what to do yourself. It's not about getting triggered. Do you know what to do with yourself when you're getting triggered? Do you know what to do with your emotions? Do you know how to separate the fact that you're married to this person from the fact that they're the enemy at the same time? Or maybe they're not really an enemy. Maybe you just don't know what you're doing. Oh, what are the chances that they know what they're doing too? None. What are you going to do about it? Well, both people should work on it. No, wrong. You need to work on yourself. And that's indefinitely. It sounds simple. It doesn't make any sense. Two people should know you're wrong. You should work on yourself and your ability to influence the result you're looking for. You're wrong. Okay? If the result you're looking for is for the other person to show up and also be applying their own end of the bargain, you still need to learn how to influence that. See, you're so caught up in the results. You don't like hearing the work. Yeah, the work is difficult. It's easier said than done. That's why you find it so easy to always go back to the principles that clearly has not worked. And obviously don't work for anybody. It doesn't work for anybody. When you came into that marriage, you were self-sufficient. I'm not talking about money necessarily. It's not about money. It's not about sex. It's not about any of those things. Okay? Those are the things you enjoy when you're in a healthy relationship. Because you realize it's not about money after you're on the same page. It could be one person bringing the money for the household. But because you guys have that one ingredient, unity, it's not an issue because we support each other. When does it be? Yoruba people say, when does that? That's the condition. When there are issues, the orin will do it, the songs will become proverbs. People will start hearing slides. They will start hearing triggers. They will start hearing offenses. It's because there are issues. There are deeper issues. And you're not addressing the issues. And you're not understanding that you need work. I'm going to tell you like this. Forget the money for a second. I already told you what the price is. And I already told you the cost of this video is literally free. And this is a $30,000 coaching you just had for free. You want to engage my personal time? It's $2,000 for the next 1 year. Okay? I'll tell you right now why 1 year. It's more about the time and the impact. You need at least 1 year. Okay? I have clients that engaged for only 2 sessions and they're good to go. And they can reach out anytime because they came together and they kind of figure out, okay, this was the issue. I have clients that they're comfortable, that they have access to me, but they just like watching these videos because they know they can reach out with a question, right? That works for me too, right? And they paid. I also have clients, right, that they listen to one set, this following session, the one person just came and said, I'm done with this, I cannot do this. After 2 sessions, and they paid the full price. I have everything and everything in between. Everybody's story is different. But let me tell all of you right now, as a rule of thumb, anything you care about in life, be it career, marriage, your love life, your business life, right? Can you understand? Can you at least agree and understand that you will need to invest at least 1 year of consistency? Never mind the money, never mind the exact amount of time, but consistency. Just in terms of your own personal behavior, the one that's attracting you being taken for granted, and the one that you're actually the perpetrator, you are actually the abuser. A lot of time you're the abuser, you don't realize. Okay? Because hey, you're trying to sort through your own pain. Can you at least agree? Can we all agree? It's a question for you. I'm going to end the session with it. Can we agree that you need to at least invest at least 1 year of consistency? If all you need is your own family, your pastor to help you with the consistency, can you agree that you need to at least invest at least 1 year of consistency? Let me know what your take is. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. I appreciate you guys for being here for another session. Do me a favor, hit like, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Sorry, all the links to access the programs are in the description box. First step by step by step. It's step by step. Get the free book, start reading the book, sign up. $97 for 21-day boot camp. I'll call you, or you can reach out. You have my contact information, and we'll take it from there. I'll see if you are a fit for the 1-year program. Talk soon.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.